Okay guys, today I was going to share with you a new little thing that I discovered. We didn't have the Bigs as they went to nannies for, a couple nights before school started. And so we got to go to Walmart and browse the clearance, which we rarely ever get to do anymore because Jeremy is not a happy shopper. And putting Jeremy and Sam together means... yeah, they're at each other all the time. But so we got to go through the clearance section and my husband found these. They are pack and track labels. And I'm not sure how much of this is actually getting in the camera. But yeah, so we got these for clearance for $2. I forget what they're actually priced at. But they're $6.99-ish on Amazon for 40 labels. And what they are is you get... now, they come 4 to a sheet. The sheets are the size of this package. But I have broken all mine up into just the individual labels so that I can use them. And in a second here, I'll show you how it works. So what you do is you scan this little code in the app, which is super awesome. Because I've looked at stuff like this, except for they were pens that you had to use and... you could record stuff like you can for this, but with pens, you only got so many labels with each thing, plus the pens cost $1 million. Not really, but just about. And it just never seemed like it was worth it. So we got, let's see, they had 14 packages for $2 each. We bought all 14 that they had because I'm that bad. And why I'm sharing this with you is because this is how I'm going to now organize my yarn stash. So what I have done, and I'll show you here in a second, some of what I've done, is like every skein. Oh, I should have brought over my rubber bands. So I have the rubber band loom rubber bands, which I had been using to keep things together, like washcloths and stuff, to roll it up to make it look nice. So what I've been doing is I've just been wrapping this label around the skein of yarn and then rubber banding it to the yarn, because these are intended for boxes, but I'm using them for just the individual skeins of yarn because I can't just look in a box and tell what things are. So what you do is you scan this code. When you scan this QR code, and I have no idea if I pointed actually to the QR code just for a reference, guys. When you scan the QR code, it'll let you name your quote-unquote box, which for me is naming the yarn. So the first one I did, I labeled it as Poppy by Bumblebee Acres because it's the Poppy colorway by Bumblebee Acres. Then when you go inside the box, you can list your items, which I'm using tags, and I'm going to go ahead and list out the individual characteristics of the yarn, because what you can do with that is then you can search for those characteristics and it will give you each box that item is contained in, because this is supposed to be for moving boxes. I did read, or my husband read in some reviews, that people use this for inventory and things. But another awesome feature is that it has a pictures section. So not only can you list the items in the box, but then you can also add pictures. Now, you can't, as far as I can tell, add pictures to individual list items, but you can add, pictures for the items. So I've just been taking pictures of the individual skeins of yarn, because then I can go in the app, and when I'm just looking for stuff, I can go, oh, that's what that looked like, and then look for that particular yarn. And then you can also label where it's being stored at. So of course I can label the box, and that is being stored in my certain different places, like in a diaper box, whatever. Yeah, so I'll gonna do one for you if it shows up at all. I'm not sure how well it's gonna turn out, but we're gonna try. Okay, well, my original video turned out okay, and then I tried to record a demo of doing it, and that didn't turn out because everything was kind of off camera. But this is all I meant that I was doing with the rubber band. This is my band from my rubber band loom, and I have the tag of the actual yarn underneath, pretty much the barcode. And that's how I'm keeping those, trying to keep the tag under the barcode so the barcode stays nice and flat, since that's the important part. But now we're going to go ahead and label a box, quote unquote, label a bag of yarn for you, or at least try to do it again, because my first time didn't work out so good. Okay guys, we're going to try this a third time because apparently I can't get the top of my screen the last couple times, and you need to see this part of the screen. So we're going to go ahead and sorry, I have my headphones on, so I'm trying to hear, scan, and then we'll see if I can do this. I'll probably have to do this off camera, because it's too far away from me. Yep, we're gonna do it off camera. Be right back, guys. Okay, sorry, I lost my yarn and I couldn't scan my label if I lose my yarn. So yeah, you just get the QR code and the little screen, and wait a second, and it does a nice little sound effect when it registers the QR code, which of course you can't hear. Then we have label this box now. Yes. And we are going to use the voice, even though it's usually funny. Fire. I have no idea what it just picked. It got the babies. Oh, usually funny. Well, we're going to do that, even though I was going to call it Fire Opal by Jinx, but I'm going to have to edit it anyways, because a lot of times when I say yarn, it likes to say yard. So usually funny. This usually funny yarn, okay, since I've already done this, and the other time I did this, the pictures actually was already loaded, so we'll see if it's still loaded. So yep, we still have our picture. And how you take the picture, this is the one part of this app that is not blind user friendly, as these buttons up here in the corner are not labeled. But you just click on that, and it takes us to the camera, and then down here at the bottom will be where the save and cancel is on the next screen, but I'm not going to go ahead and take another picture of this usually funny yarn. But yeah, so, and then to add, we're not going to do the location because I gotta decide where I'm storing things before. Oh, we didn't go back far enough. There we go. We're not going to do the location, and yeah, that's what I want. Add item. Voice. DK weight yarn. Now, I'll add other things to this later, but I'm going to have to type in a lot of it manually, like I said, because this is Jinx yarn and it does not want to spell that correctly, and I do want it spelled correctly. I do not have a lot of Jinx yarn, but I do have a little. But yeah, so I have that. I guess we could edit. And if you do the voice, it will replace the whole thing, and if you do the... Guys, can you not talk over me? Fire Opal by Jinx Yarn. So, yeah, like I said, I'll have to edit it more later. But I just kind of wanted to give you an idea, and that way I'll know what I was actually using. And that's my boxes, and like I have the ones under the bassinet because I have a bassinet that I've just used to hold things. It doesn't hold children, it's just used to hold yarn and things out of children's reach, basically, because I don't bother it normally. Yeah, those are the ones I've already done. And then we have find, so I wanted to show you this thing. DK weight yarn. So like I said, I'll add other tags, and then it shows me that, which again, it did yard instead of yarn. The first time I did this, it actually did the yarn, but now it won't do it. But anyways, yeah. And so then I can just go in it, and it's in there. So anyways, guys, that was just kind of a walkthrough of how this pack and track works. I think it's going to be a lifesaver for me because you can create a cloud account with this service, and then you can just log in with email, and you know, anyone that has the email and the password or whatever can access this account, and then like I can make my children or my husband go search for the item because it should be listed where it is, and it'll have the picture, hopefully, if I ever find time to do all this, of the yarn, and I can say, hey, I need this one, go find it for me. Or, you know, if I'm by myself, I'll actually go through and at some point have them help me add all the tags or items to the boxes so that I can search and find things that way. And then when I think I find what I wanted, I'll be able to scan the QR code and confirm whether or not I have what I wanted. And I found just double clicking on the box does let you delete it, which is awesome because I wasn't, you know, I knew you could, I just didn't know how it was done. And yeah, I think that's all for right now. So you can thank this video to Becky of Funny Farm Crochet because I was sharing with her how I was having a really rotten week, and then I was telling her about this because this was totally the bright point to my week. It seems like a lot of people in the last week or so have been having really crummy weeks. I don't know if it has something to do with the full moon or what exactly is going on, but it must be something in the atmosphere because yeah, I had basically, it's been going downhill since not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before that. Things, at least emotionally for me, were going downhill. And you know, the one thing people talk about, they're like, oh, well, if you're depressed, it's a chemical imbalance and you need to go get that checked out. Like I was having this conversation with one of my friends this past Sunday. And it's like, sometimes, you know, it's okay to feel down. It's not a chemical imbalance if you have reasons to feel down. And that was kind of where I was. I have every reason to feel the way I felt. And I just needed something to help me feel like things were moving in a positive direction, and that's what these labels helped me do, is they helped me feel like maybe I can get some kind of control on organizing, because that was definitely something that I was feeling really low on, because I've been trying to clean house, which is why you haven't been getting a lot of videos all summer, because I've been trying to get a hold of things, and every time I try, everything just keeps going back to square one, and maybe even square -10. And I'm not exaggerating. It's life with 4 boys. Things do not go the way, you know, if I lived in a house by myself, I could get things to where I wanted them, cleanliness wise. But when you have to share your space, that also means you have to share your attention. And so yeah, I've spent all summer trying to clean up everyone else's messes, and it hasn't been fun. So, anyways, sorry for that little life pep talk there. I highly suggest these pack and track labels. Like I was telling Becky, that they're just going to make my life easier, and the thing that I love about them is they're not a blind person thing. These are meant for moving boxes, and I've just adapted it to be something for myself. And the nice thing about that is that since it is a normal person thing, it's not a super expensive thing, because when you get to those specialized items, they get so expensive that no one can actually go out and get them. So I found a workaround for me that I think is going to work. I think it's going to be amazing once I get everything, you know, to where I need it to be. Like I was going to label things like sock yarn, DK weight yarn, which is what you saw me label this one. I was going to label it with the yarn dyer, not just in the box name, but also in the listed items in it. So then if I'm at a show, I can just tell my phone, find the yarns by this person, and I can tell if I have that yarn or not. I mean, obviously I have to keep it within a reasonable search amount, because if I have 500 yarns, it's not going to be really doable. But yeah, I think this is going to be a super useful tool for me, and I think other people will be able to use it to their own benefit too. So that is why I am sharing it with you here. And you know, it's that unseen strand, as usual. Something we can all use, even though we wouldn't look at it necessarily at the way that I'm using it. So anyways, guys, I hope you appreciated this video, and if you like this video, I hope you hook the like button and subscribe. Talk to you later, guys.